I have a confession to make to you guys. Only very recently have I learned how to drive manual. This is day number 5, and I want to take you for a drive in the Shelby GT350. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but let me know how I'm doing. And for those of you that don't know how to drive manual, I'll throw in some beginner level tips for you guys. Let's go for a drive. Alright you guys, don't even ask how, but we're in the GT350. This is now my favorite car out of every other car we have ever been in on this channel so far. So let's get started. Emergency brake down, clutch in. We're in first gear to prevent us from rolling. Let's start it up. Oh my gosh. Alright, now we're going to take this on some main roads in case you're wondering and let this thing ring out. 8,250 RPM is the red line here. Just, you know, FYI, the hardest things for all beginners are starting off, very gently letting off that clutch to not stall, or get a really jerky start where you go like back and forward. And then for shifting from first to second is probably the second hardest thing, getting a smooth shift. But you know, just be very gentle with the clutch, and really there's no better way to learn this than to just go in an empty parking lot and go and stop, go and stop, go and stop until you really got it. And very recently, I have learned how to rev match downshift. I had to know how to do that before I drove this car because this is a majestic sounding 5.2 liter V8, the Voodoo engine. And if I didn't know how to properly rev match downshift, then, well, I wouldn't be able to do justice to this car. All right, so let's bring this thing on some main roads. We're gonna take a right and let this thing ring out a little bit. Obviously, stay within the legal limit here. This thing has selectable drive mode, so we'll put on sport mode as well. And put the windows down just a little bit. All right, first gear. Let me know how I do, by the way. If you think there's some stuff I could improve on, I'm not perfect. Remember, this is like day number 4 or 5. So yeah, if you do have any tips still, let me know. So yeah, I'm definitely comfortable enough to drive on main roads or in heavy traffic. That was the scariest part. The worst nightmare for all beginners is going onto a main road, getting stuck at a red light on an uphill with somebody that is right close behind you. That is the worst. So if you can get into a manual that has hill assist, that's probably the best way for you to learn. I started off in a car that did not have hill assist. It gave it for like half a second, but then if you don't get it quick, it won't help you after that. So that's my #1 piece of advice to anyone that's starting off. But the way I learned that helped me get this down pretty quick is starting off in an empty parking lot and doing about an hour of stop start, shifting from first to second, stopping, first to second, stopping, doing a lot of turns. If you do an hour of that, you'll get comfortable enough, and then you want to move on to doing second to third to fourth, and then rev match downshifting is something I would wait until you're super comfortable, like super comfortable with all the basics. I will say that right now I am not like comfortable enough to have this be second nature. Like making a video and doing this commentary is gonna distract me. I'm sure if we come to a stop, I would not be as keen to hit the clutch in as I would if I wasn't doing commentary. But it's growing on me more and more and more. And I will say, I fully understand why everyone says manual is better, because it gives each and every car its own personality. Let's do a little turnaround right here. I was also kind of scared of reverse for some reason. Every car does have a different reverse. This one on the Mustangs, you just pull this little ring up and you're good to go, because you definitely don't want to go into reverse when you're going like 40 miles an hour. That would not be a good time. As an FYI, Miatas are some of the best to learn manuals on. The Miata, the 2022 Miata that I drove, I already knew how to drive manual for that one, you know, like all the basics, but that car was so smooth on driving that one. Holy moly, the GT350. Also, what helps a lot is knowing that you don't have to downshift when you're coming to a stop. No matter what gear you're in, just throw it in neutral as long as you're coming to a stop. And if for some reason traffic starts going again, you know, if you're at 10 miles an hour, put it in second. If you're at 20 miles an hour, you could put it into third. I will say, it really depends on what car you're in. The Miata wanted me to shift to 6th gear at 30 miles an hour. Yeah, if you shift to 6 at 30 miles an hour in this car, it's gonna hate you. You can hit pretty high speeds in 2nd and 3rd gear. This car is, well, again, 8,250 RPM. This thing's meant to just ring out, and it's hard to do that here on the North Korea roads that we're on right now. But oh my gosh, 526 horsepower. What do I even say? This is my dream car. This is gonna have me waking up on Monday mornings, going to work, excited because I know one day I may have enough money to afford something like this. Such a good car. I will say though, once you really get the manual thing down, you can jump into any manual car and it's not very different from one another. Just the gear ratios are a little bit different, but it's not going to be a huge deal. This GT350 has a clutch that is not very forgiving. I will say that. Even the gear shifter is rather stiff in this car. It is a track car, so this is not one I would recommend for beginners at all. But, you know, driving it for a bit, I really got the feel of this car and how to properly do everything pretty quickly. Let's do a 3rd gear. This thing is unbelievable. By the way, guys, the GT350s do have an issue with the manual transmissions. They're very known for grinding gears, and I felt that when I first got in the car. I did everything properly. I took my time with this thing, but I noticed that this car does have a problem with that. So, you know, when I hopped in this thing, I was like, yep, this is my dream car. But then, of course, once you meet your idol, you realize it's not as good as you thought. But still, other than that, other than the issues with the manual transmission, this is an absolutely unreal car. This also, the one we're in right now has 94,000 miles on it, so you got to give this thing some leeway. I mean, come on, it's not going to be perfect. Any car with 94,000 miles on it, you'll start to notice some things, even maybe a Toyota Corolla, some things, you'll notice some wear and tear on it. But yeah, as a car reviewer, I was like, man, if I don't know how to really use manual cars like to the fullest extent, then what am I even doing? That would limit me so much. And when I saw this car pop up as an opportunity, well, I had to immediately hop on and learn it as best as I could. Really smooth downshifts now. Definitely getting a lot better at it. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Yes, it is. So guys, let me know how you think I am doing thus far, at least with you know, driving manual. Of course, on some of the rev match downshifts, we noticed a little bit of jerkiness, but you know, that's gonna come with time. You ain't gonna be perfect at it in 4 or 5 days, but practice will make perfection. And plus, every time you hop in a new car, you know, it's gonna be slightly different. So you have to relearn the gear ratios just a little bit. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you, and I will see you in the POV drive and the review of this car. Peace.